Previously on the Otherplace.
Cælum is a scholar, and he studies rare historical objects. He received a letter from somebody urging him to come and check out a very specific object, and it's taken him quite a long time to get here. Well, what I'm here about is looking for a guy named Belmin. Have you heard of a fellow named Belmin?
Oh, my old friend Belmin. I'm afraid you've just missed him.
And how would I go about finding him, if you don't mind?
Well, as far as I know, they've taken his body to the constable.
Cælum thinks, not again. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that I like this thing that I'm establishing with Cælum. He's trying to figure out why magic works in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. So I'm just gonna constantly have him do weird, pointless acts with objects just to see if they influence the magic that he does.
Okay.
He takes one of the crystals out of his pocket and puts it on top of Belmin, right in the center of his wound.
The crystal feels strange, like a little warmer than you would probably want to make a note of the warmth of the crystal as you take it out of your pocket.
Crystal warm, probably because I'm perspiring a bit. Anyway, he this is gross, but he's actually gonna put it into the wound.
Okay, all right.
He stands back, clasps his hands together. What he's trying to do is wake the consciousness of Belmin and see if Belmin's resurrected, maybe only slightly, only for a few moments, can give him any insight into his murder or into the mystery of the object that has brought Cælum all this way.
Okay, so
he concentrates.
Yeah, I'm gonna flip a dark side to make it a red and 4 purples.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna do that. So I'm flipping the other storyboard.
Yeah.
So they are still both one in your court, one in mine, but okay. I would like to be given a boost for my crystal.
I'm going to give you a boost for a reason.
Okay. Because he wants to come back.
You going to roll it?
I actually had to figure out what I was going to roll.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to use Divine to make this check. And that's going to be, I have 1 will and 2 rank. So that's a green and a yellow. And I'm going to upgrade my green to a yellow. So I have 2 yellow and a boost. And were you going to tell me why I get a boost?
No.
Oh, okay. I have a boost. Do I get another boost because of the crystal?
Sure.
Oh, okay. I'm going to roll this. Well, you're going to be happy. Something that you wanted to happen probably happened. Because my red is a despair.
Yeah.
I got 3 failures, a despair, and 2 advantage.
Okay. So you feel a wind rise in this room, which is strange because it's completely enclosed. And tell me, you got a despair. How many failures?
3.
How many advantages?
2.
Okay. You feel a wind rise in this room and sort of gather at the floor and start moving upward. And the body on the table starts convulsing, and that crystal that you put in its chest starts glowing, and it jumps up off the table and comes at you.
The body or the crystal?
The body. Roll initiative.
All right.
It's going to be vigilance for you, but you got those 2 advantages. You could add boost die to your initiative.
I'm going to do that. So do I get a boost for both of my advantages? Mm-hmm. 1 for each? Mm-hmm. Okay. My vigilance stinks. It stinks. It's my willpower is 1 and I have nothing else. So rolling a green and 2 boosts, and I got a success with an advantage.
Okay. So it leaps up off the table and you have the first turn.
So I can perform incidentals.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yep.
And that is something that costs no strain. It's just to look around or something like that.
Yeah, it's something small.
So I'm just gonna look Belmin's corpse that has risen due to my magical recklessness. Looking it in the face, is there any bit of Belmin in this corpse?
Its eyes are white. I don't think there's any bit of Belmin in this corpse.
Okay. He is going to reach into his pocket and grab his crystal. Is that going to be an incidental or a maneuver?
That would be a maneuver. And it would also be a maneuver to take out your knife if you wanted to do that. Also, you took 2 strain for performing magic.
Okay. Sorry.
What?
I'm going to take...
What kind of
I'm just gonna...
crystal was that?
The 2 crystals were the same. And that was to do what was an experiment? But it was so that there was just to compare the results of the connected polarity of these 2 quartz crystals.
Okay. So were they 2 halves of a single crystal?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that is like their connection. Yeah. They're kind of like connected magnetism.
Yeah. All right. So what do you want to do?
So he takes out his crystal just to inspect it.
That's your maneuver, right?
Yeah.
It is also glowing red.
Mental note. The crystals are connected. This is a scientific breakthrough. I've never seen anything like it. Have to take mental notes. Gotta write this down later. But right now, gotta survive. Can the crystal be destroyed? He's gonna try and break the crystal that he's taken out of his pocket.
Okay. How do you want to try that?
See if he is going to use... Magic is so weird in this game because I kind of just feel like I could do whatever I want with magic.
You could, but it's usually easier to do it using one of your other skills because you don't take strain.
That's a good point.
There may be things in this room that could break the crystal.
Okay. He knows he needs to break the crystal. He's going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. He walks back towards the chain that was pointed to him earlier. And what I want to do is I want to put the crystal where the iron door is going to fall and let the iron door crack the crystal when he pulls the chain.
That is exactly what I was getting at when I said there are other ways in this room that you could break the crystal.
Yeah, well, this is why we play this game, because it's pretty obvious for me to figure out what you want me to do.
Okay. All right, so you placed your crystal on the floor and pull on the chain, and a really heavy iron door falls down from some crevice in the ceiling to cover the wooden door. And as it hits the crystal, I'm gonna flip my dark side point because the crystal cracks, but it doesn't break. And as it cracks, you see the person who was Belmin stumbles backward a little bit.
Definitely connected. Definitely a connection here. I can see that firsthand. This is really important stuff. I'm actually kind of excited with this.
But now Belmin's coming at you, and he's gonna try and attack you. Okay, so it seems like there's no intelligence left in this body, and he sort of stumbles towards you and looks like he's going to try and scratch you, but as he stumbles, he misses, and you are able to move out of the way just a little bit. But he's in there now with you and this door. But he got a threat, so if you have any ideas for that.
I am able to very elegantly, gracefully step out of the way of this oncoming attack. He kind of collides with the iron door that has just fallen on the crystal.
Oh, and it burns him a little bit. And you hear a psss as his skin crackles as he touches the door.
Wow, I'd read that would happen, but never saw that firsthand. Really interesting. Let's see. Is this chain made out of iron also?
It is.
Cælum's gonna try and grab this body by the back and kind of coax it towards the chain and wrap the chain around Belmin's neck.
Okay.
This is gonna get gross.
Do an athletics check.
Oh no. Okay.
It's gonna be against 2 purples.
Okay. I'm gonna flip a story point.
Okay.
We're gonna have I think this, whatever this is gonna be a lot of story point flipping. Alright. Darn it. Got an advantage.
Okay.
That's it.
What's your advantage?
So he kind of grabs him in sort of this wrestling move, pinning the 2 arms behind his shoulders, and tries to coax him over to the chain, but can't quite it's a lot harder physically than he was prepared for.
Yeah.
This body is very, very strong.
A lot stronger than it looks.
And Cælum is pretty average strength. Not anything, not strong enough to do this very easily. So he's not able to actually do it. But he does have this body kind of pinned, kind of writhing in front. He's got him pinned from behind. So what's he gonna do?
Is that it? That's your advantage?
I guess. He kind of like walks him over to the chain, and the chain kind of is like bumping up against him and burning him just a tiny bit.
Okay.
So it is my advantage is it is definitely iron, and it will hurt this dude.
Okay. What is your brawn?
2.
And your athletics? 0? What'd you just roll?
Yeah, 2.
Okay.
But I upgraded 1.
Okay. So the person who was Belmin tries to break free from you, but it must be the adrenaline pumping in your veins because he's not able to get free. He did get 3 advantages, so he's able to turn so that you are back to the door and he is facing the room now. Your back is to the door, his front is to the room, and he's away from the door and the chain. But he could not break your grip.
Got it.
And you see his mouth is open like a scream, but it's completely silent.
Is he trying to bite me?
What are you gonna do?
God, I hate to try and do the same thing again, just on principle. So he's facing me now?
No, he's not facing you. His back is to your front, but your back is to the door, and his front is to the room.
Okay. Cælum thinks, well, trying to burn his head off would have been gross, but this is going to be gross too. He's going to stick his hand into the wound and try and pull the crystal out.
All right, so you try and like reach around the front and try and pull the crystal out?
So he does have to like loosen his grip on this guy with one hand to do this.
Let's make it a coordination.
Okay. That's going to be a better check for him.
Yeah.
And what's the difficulty?
I'd say coordination with an average difficulty. Coordination because you can't really see what you're doing, so you need to like think about where your hand is.
Okay. And
coordination's one of those ones that I struggle to find use for in the game.
This is a roll. So he rolled 3 greens against 3 purple, 4 successes.
Okay.
With 3 threats.
So you grab the crystal and you pull it out, and the body that was Belmin's slumps forward and hits the ground. And as it hits the ground, it starts convulsing again and sort of flips over onto its back and opens its mouth wide, and something comes out. It doesn't really have any sort of form. It's like a vapor, and it like shoots up to the ceiling and sort of pools at the ceiling and then seeps through the ceiling.
What in the world did I just see? I've got to take some mental notes here.
You have a disgusting crystal in your hand.
This crystal is foul. I think I'm just going to say that this is evidence, and he just puts it on the table that Belmin was on.
You hear somebody pounding on the door on the outside and yelling, "You okay in there? Is everything fine? What's going on in there?"
Still, yeah, we're fine. Belmin is still dead.
You can see that, so the second half of the crystal is holding that door open just a crack. You can see that the outside door is open, and you just like see the shadows of 2 or more people like crowding the door back there.
Open the door. I want to get out of here right now.
The door is slowly winched up with a chain on the other side, and the Triassian and the rodent fellow come in, and the rodent person kneels down with the body, and you see that there are a couple other people in that constable uniform with the silver shoulder armor coming in, and one of them grabs you by the arm and starts pulling you out of this place. So you're gonna have to come with me. We've got some questions for you.
Hey, see you guys later. Thanks for your help.
Do a perception check with 1 purple but 2 blacks.
2 successes.
As you're pulled out of the room, you see that Hopper has flipped the body over to try and get it back on the table, and there's a symbol, looks like it's burned into its back, which you recognize as that gateway.
That was not there before. I had a very clear look at his back. That was not there.
And this other constable, a a tall dwarf pulls you out of this place, up the stairs, and into a small side office where a human is waiting, sitting behind a desk. All right, no, he's pacing. Yeah. And the dwarf shoves you into a chair. The human turns and looks at you. What do you think this is? Who are you? What are you doing here?
Well, my name is Cælum Clara, and I've come here to investigate an artifact left behind by the man downstairs that goes by the name of Belmin.
Went by the name of Belmin.
Well, I'm not quite so sure. By the way, what was your name? Now that I gave you mine.
Halfdan.
Halfdan. That's, familiar. But, no, we've not met. But it's a pleasure to meet you, Halfdan.
You don't have jurisdiction here. This is our case. We're gonna need you to leave.
Say no more, Halfdan. I've done all I can do, and I've seen all I can see. If you need me, I'll be at the tavern in town. The Steeple Rock, I believe.
Gerald the dwarf's gonna escort you.
No, I'd appreciate that, Gerald. Thank you.
Keep a good eye on him, Gerald.
I'm assuming maybe Gerald only has one eye?
Yeah, Gerald has a patch. One of those metal patches. It's very shiny silver like his shoulder pad. And like I said, he's a very tall dwarf.
Oh, that's fine. I think a dwarf can be any size, I guess.
So Gerald grabs your arm, pulls you out of the seat, and starts walking you out of the building. And he walks you toward the Steeple Rock. It's getting darker now. It's evening. And Gerald doesn't say anything on the walk back to the Steeple Rock, but you can feel his single eye piercing your back. He's keeping his eye on you.
He's keeping a good eye on me.
And as you get to the Steeple Rock, you start walking in, and Gerald taps you on the back. And he does, you know that thing where you take two fingers and you put them at your eyes, and then you point them at the other guy? He does that except one.
It's nice to see you too, Gerald.
For those of you at home, Doug and I just did that like 4 times.
It's not a visual medium, but
we do what we can. So you head back into the Steeple Rock where you see your 2 paladin friends still sitting at that table. They're talking to each other now. They're accompanied by what looks like a small frog person in a big fluffy hat. He's got a little harp on his back. He's talking to your 2 paladin friends. The halfling is still behind the counter. This place is a lot more busy now.
Paladins, it's good to see you.
Is it?
Yeah, it's okay. I was just being polite. It's fine.
All right.
How's it going? Hear anything interesting? Anything? Just what?
Nothing much. Building stuff, murder stuff. This frog guy's gonna play some music in a minute.
Yeah, that'll be great in a minute. But now, anything about the murder? Anything other than rumors? Is anything kind of trickling through to you?
All sounds like rumors to me. What are these 2 guys' names?
Whatever they are, the names have to rhyme.
Like Quigley and Bigley.
Those are not tough guy names.
They're not.
They need to be like 1 syllable, like Big and Quig.
Quentin and Benton.
I'm not
Throg and
personally.
Grog.
No, those are like orc names.
Yeah.
So we just met at the dock aboarding this boat.
Okay.
And Cælum's not sure of their full names.
Okay.
What's that?
They didn't want to come.
I'm sure they did not. It was not a fun trip.
Yeah.
He's not sure of their full names, but knows that their nicknames are Quen and Ben.
Quen and Ben. Okay. Yeah. Quen and Ben. Quen and Ben rolled very poorly. So they didn't hear very much today. This place is noisy. There's lots of people talking at the same time. They got 4 advantages. Do you have any idea for their perception check with 4 advantages?
Okay. So they saw something, and they didn't think it was important, but I think it's important. So they're rattling off some stuff that happened today.
Yeah, so the people that they saw an Anza, which is like a cat person, with they're covered in like paint, a lot of different colors. They saw a lot of builders. One that stood out was a very tall stone folk. They saw the alchemist come in. He left very quickly. The sea kith that you came on the boat with stopped in for a little bit and got some drinks and left. Yeah, there are a lot of people.
It's pretty interesting.
So basically, since they didn't succeed on their perception check, some of that is probably useful.
Well, thanks for sharing, boys. You can tend to your drinks. Keep an eye open, but enjoy yourself. Reynard. That sounded unusual. Why would Reynard have left so quickly? Why did he come here? Very curious. I'm either going back to get that invisibility potion and interrogate Reynard, or I'm going to Belmin's house. So he's gonna go back up to his room real quick, really just to look at the crystals.
Yeah.
It's a little more... He's becoming a believer. I mean, he knows that there's magic, all kinds of magic. He's not really a big believer in crystals. A lot of this kind of homeopathic
mumbo
stuff.
jumbo.
Yeah, he's not a big... I'm going to say that a lot of the greater powers in this world that he lives in, he's quite skeptical of until he sees firsthand. So he goes and checks on the crystals.
That amethyst has fallen over.
Probably just the thunder.
It's pointing east.
I want him to... I guess he doesn't really have a raincoat. He thinks about what he needs to prepare. For a second, he's like, I should just go to sleep, but I can't.
Does he sort of prepare himself a little?
Yeah, he prepares himself a little.
Do a discipline check.
Okay.
Simple.
Okay. Discipline is not bad.
So you want, when you play this, if somebody's using magic, you want them to have a nice high discipline, because when they get some downtime, they can do a discipline check to recover strain.
He has a rank in discipline, but his willpower is only 1.
So it's a yellow.
So does that... It's just 1 yellow. A yellow and a purple.
No purple.
And...
Simple.
Oh.
So just your yellow results.
Dang it. 2 advantage.
Okay, so you do not recover any strain.
Lame. Oh well.
So the way I usually like to play that is, since you can't really get anything out of that, you're usually taking a little bit of time and to center yourself or whatever. So maybe some of your thoughts connect or something like that. I mean, I think that's a good way to do it with your players, because you should use those advantages for something.
Okay.
So I will connect a few of your thoughts. And then you can inner monologue them.
Okay.
So, let's see. Reynard said that he was old friends with Belmin. He also said that they had just finished up adding onto his estate, I think. Like they had just finished up building additions to it. What else can we connect? I guess those are my only good connections. But you got 2 advantages. Those are 2 things.
What could Reynard have been the murderer all along? What could his motivations been? How close was he to Belmin? Did he know about the object? Could he have wanted it? What's the purpose of the object? I need to find the object. That's what I need right now. I've got a way to do it.
Okay, so what is Cælum's plan?
I have this talent that I kind of just wanted to like try and use in weird ways, but I have a feeling maybe it's not quite what I need.
Is that your crafting talent?
No.
What is it?
So I have this talent called Familiar Sky. Once per session may perform a Familiar Sky maneuver. Make a hard knowledge check to reveal the current type of environment and other useful information. So you just do a hard check.
It's knowledge. So we should specify a type of knowledge, since we have 4 different knowledge skills. So since it is type of environment, I would probably go with either geography. I guess you could choose your knowledge skill and get information based on the type of knowledge skill that you choose.
I sort of wanted that talent to function as like foresight, or not foresight, but like seek or something in like the Force game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to try and find the thing that you're looking for.
And I sort of visualize it as if I haven't hammered this over the head yet, he is kind of like he's a sky folk, and he is kind of a wind wizard. So I picture like this kind of like expansing traveling vision that he is going to search the town for the destination that he should travel to. And he already has 2 in mind. he's either going to travel to the alchemist's shop or to the expansive mansion of Belmin.
Okay. Well, roll your check.
It's going to be hard.
It's going to be pretty tough. So it's going to be 3 purples. It was hard, right? A hard check?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 3 purples, and then 1 of your intellect skills. Your knowledge skills.
Wow. I guess it should probably be geography, because I'm talking about, like, spatial stuff.
So geography would be locations of things. Lore, you would probably get a history. You would get history of the place, important historical spots. Lore, maybe a little closer to what you're looking for. Lore,
well, lore would probably be like the best because
weird history.
Basically, I'm looking for the object. I'm looking for the like historical, but like mythological or something. So with lore,
I'm
looking for magic.
I may not give you exactly where that particular item is, but maybe things that you noticed walking around the town that would have to do with this place's history of magic.
All right, I'm going to do lore because it's the closest I'm going to get to succeeding. So I have an intellect of 2, and I have a rank 1 in lore, so I'm going to get a green and a yellow. And I'm probably going to get a bunch of advantages, and then it's going to be hard for us to figure out what to do with them.
Any boosts?
Okay. Do you know what our story point situation is right now?
1 and 1.
All right, let me just upgrade my green to a yellow. So 3 purple and 2 yellow. Heck yeah. I just needed a success for this to work at all. I got 3 successes with 2 threats.
Okay.
Which I think is probably
3 successes and 2 threats. So things you gathered about this town. So, reveal the current type of environment. You're in a town.
Mm-hmm.
Other useful information. So you notice that this town is built on. It's got a very prominent main crossroads, and one of the crossroads the biggest one that you noticed today was where that big open air city market was. On your way in on the boat, you noticed but didn't think it was, you weren't sure if it was natural or not, but at this point, seeing that symbol again on Belmin's back, and just the way today went, some of the big stones in the water around this island, they may have ancient carvings on them. They were very well worn from the waves and rain and stuff, but yeah. So this place probably has a history of magic. Based on what you know, Belmin's estate at the east point of town would be at the far end of one of the main roads. What else do you need to know? Okay, this is what I'm picturing.
He goes into sort of a trance state, searching the area, searching the sky, the air, in kind of vague, cloudy, abstract ways. He's not like flying around necessarily or something like that, but he's seeing these patterns connect. He's seeing this kind of grid unfold, the geometry of this town, the geometry of the objects in relation to the town and to these places. This all seems very intentional. I'm going to say that the amethyst pointing east is kind of rocking back and forth, almost like a compass. He knows that the east, this must be the important place to be, and Belmin's mansion is where he needs to head. He grabs the amethyst, just straightens up his gear, tightens his belt, and he's going to leave out into the night, into the rain, on his way to Belmin's. You head out the front door of the Steeple Rock, where the dwarf is just standing there, and he's got his arms crossed, and he's looking at you, and he shakes. Oh man, I didn't want him to know I was leaving. Was he guarding the door?
Yeah.
Well, he shouldn't let me leave then, right?
No, he doesn't want you to leave.
Well, shouldn't he try and stop me?
He's shaking his head, saying you're not saying anything, but implying that you're not going anywhere.
Gerald, I'll be right back.
He's shaking his head.
I swear, I just need to go, and I need it's an experiment, okay? I'll be right back. Here's 5 silver. Buy yourself a drink on me.
He puts the silver in his pocket, shakes his head, and holds out his hand.
What, you want more?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many more? Okay, here's what I want you to do. Just tell the bartender, tell that halfling over there that I got your tab. Just do whatever you need to do. See those guys over there? That's Ben and
Gwen.
Gwen? Yeah, Gwen.
He leans into the door and looks at them.
They'll show you a good time. Hang out with those guys. They know how to have fun, okay?
He narrows his eyes at you.
His eye.
He could narrow them both. You don't know what's behind that patch. He narrows his eye at you and walks in the Steeple Rock.
I'll see you soon, Gerald. I promise. Oh, God. Why am I such a people pleaser? Anyway, here I go.
You walk out into the stormy night. Thunder is clapping overhead, and your way is lit by lightning in the skies. There's nobody on the street anymore. You hear, as you walk, you see a couple stray dogs run under a building, but you don't see any people as you make your way east.
Okay. So there isn't really anything I want to do as I travel there. He's just trying to stay as dry as possible in this rain. So he's got his cloak pulled pretty tightly. Does he have a cloak?
I think you gave yourself a cloak. No, you gave yourself padded armor.
I chose to have traveling gear instead of a cloak.
Yeah. So no, you don't have a cloak. I'd assume that like the other people from the Brotherhood have had robes, so you've got some sort of robe if you need it.
Okay. Well, I mean, I have like, I'm assuming this whole time that I'm wearing, he's like always wearing his scholar's robes.
Okay.
Over like some very, very light padded armor that's underneath.
So you're staying close to buildings, and the wind has picked up a little bit, and you get to the end of this long street, and the town opens up. The buildings stop, and there's a very large building with a tower. It looks like it is on the edge of a cliff. It's all stone. It looks like if this place was lived in, there would be bright glows from numerous windows, but right now it's dead and cold and dark.
Huh. It's pretty spooky. I'm assuming as he says that, some lightning cracks behind the mansion.
And a crow caws.
Well, I'm getting wet. Here we go. He's gonna make his way towards this mansion.
What do you think medieval police tape looked like?
A wrought iron gate that's closed with a lock.
So I think the gate is open. There's like a small stone wall around the estate, but main door has a chain, an iron chain around the door handles.
Mm-hmm. So this door is chained shut. Okay. I want to do something to this chain that I've wanted to do. I want to try and use alchemy to transmute this chain into something else.
Okay.
What do you think about
Interesting.
that?
So I had thought of alchemy as like potion making, but we could totally make it full. What was it? Full metal alchemist alchemy if you want.
Because that's kind of how I was picturing it.
If that's how you want it to be in this game, yeah. But I think that when you do that, it has to follow the magic rules, and you have to take 2 strain to do it.
That seems fair because you're like using energy to change something. It's definitely like a spell.
What are you trying to change it into?
Well, I've learned that iron hurts the dead, and it seems like the dead are going to be part of my life now. This is my life now. I am going to transmute this metal chain into kind of like a metal spike.
Okay. So since you're not trying to change it into something that it is not, it's not going to be super difficult.
I'm not trying to change it into gold.
I'd say that if you wanted to change it into like, I don't know, a plant, that would be an impossible check. But just changing its shape, I'd say let's make it an average difficulty.
Okay. And I'm interested in this talent creative design that I have. So as part of resolving a successful crafting check. Oh, so that's if it's successful.
That allows you to... I would say that one would maybe specifically be making something, making a potion or making an item. I don't know.
Well, I'm kind of making a iron spike.
Kind of, but I don't know. I think more... Because there are specific crafting things.
Okay. So you just don't want me to do that?
I don't think so.
It's just unnecessary. Okay, well, my alchemy is pretty good. It's 2 yellow. 2 yellow and 2 purple? Okay, alright. 3 successes. I definitely did it. And 2 threats.
So, what does it look like when you do that?
I think that he rubs his hands together.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear that? And kind of blows through his hands. And the chain gets red hot and until it melts and kind of reforms into this spike in his hand. Not hot at all in his hand.
What shape is it?
It's just it's kind of like a 4 cornered, like little, like the Washington Monument or something. It's just like a 4-edged spike.
Okay. So you do that, and as that comes out in your hands, the doors slowly swing open by themselves with a very loud creak.
Thanks for listening to this episode of The Otherplace.
The Otherplace is a production of Nightcast Creative. For more information on this and our other shows, visit nightcastcreative.com.
For updates on future episodes and bonus content, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at OtherplacePod.
Looking to support the show? Leave us a review on your favorite podcatcher or visit us at patreon.com/Coruscant Nights.